And welcome back to the week Who Will Win. Today's Who Will Win comes to us from Klaus John 12, who asked the question, who in a fight? Teen Naruto, from Naruto obviously, and CW's interpretation of Supergirl. Naruto has been on this series plenty of times. And because you asked for Teen Naruto, this allows me to use basically him by the end of the original series. The original run of Naruto, not going into Boruto. This is due to the fact that once we get into like the last Boruto movie, I think he's actually like 19 at that point. So even though he's technically teen, he's an adult at that point. He's a young adult. So I can't really use that. I use teen Naruto from the original from Shippuden. That being said, that's still an extremely powerful version of Naruto. I mean, he has access obviously to his every jutsu he's ever pretty much learned in the series, summoning all the Rasengan variations, the Wind Style Rasengan, the Kurama's Chakra Cloak, and the Sage Cloak, which is basically an up version of that, which allows him access to basically all the chakra natures, all the tail beasts chakra types to one degree or another, the chakra rods, the chakra spheres. He is capable of moving faster than the speed of light. He is durable enough to take hits from individuals who can basically blow apart mountain ranges and be fine. He would not have survived Kaguya's Bone Ash technique, but I don't think any of us would have expected that. The Shadow Clone Jutsu is bread and butter, a transformation jutsu. He's actually capable of flight with those spheres. He's also capable of having extra sensory perception thanks to the Sage Chakra, natural chakra in him. He is a skilled hand-to-hand fighter. Being a ninja, he is actually very highly trained, even though he's not a master hand-to-hand fighter. Like Lee would still have easily the edge over him in a fight in terms of just hand-to-hand. But Naruto is still a very capable hand-to-hand fighter. And he is Naruto, man. Like, he can kind of pull miracles out of his ass. I mean, granted, they're plot-contrived miracles, but still. Kara Danvers is Supergirl from the CW. Now, I actually watched the first season of Supergirl, and at first it was not good, but it slowly picked up for me. I just didn't get into watching it again once the second season started back up. But I didn't hate the first season, and I know a lot about what happened prior to that, or past that. So her version of Supergirl is pretty strong. She, flight-wise and speed-wise, she is capable of she said he'd be even faster than Clark. Now, no two versions of Superman are actually created equally, so it's almost impossible to actually say whether or not she is faster than Superman, and whether or not Superman is faster than light. However, she is also able to keep up with Barry Allen in that Flash crossover and the other crossovers they did. So she is comparable to someone who can move at faster than light speeds. Durability-wise, she's pretty much immune to most, Earth-based weaponry. She even took a point-blank explosion, which destroyed basically a city block to the face, and didn't receive any visible injury. She was hurt, don't get me wrong, and she didn't like the feel of that, but she still wasn't really hurt. It takes individuals of like comparable power, alien tech, kryptonite obviously, power dampening, to be able to actually injure her. She also has an accelerated healing factor when she is injured. She is solar powered just like her cousin. And just like her cousin, she can drain that solar battery. She is basically a solar battery. She is constantly absorbing it, but like at times like at night or when there is no yellow sun around, she can run low on her solar reserves. Her heat, using your heat vision, for example, to excessive amounts is a perfect example of that. She is also, she's got the strength to actually stop a ship that was able to move from one side of the universe to another in an instant and stop it. Their strength is phenomenal. To the point where it is said that she is actually stronger than Superman. Evidently, she is in fact stronger than Superman. Superman even says, "Yeah, I was fighting you at my all, and you still beat me. You were the hero this world deserves, like not me." And look, I'm not a big Superman fan. I fully acknowledge that. But even I'm like, look, you don't. Superman, if you want to do Superman right, is an ideology. He's something to aspire to. And that's really belittling the character. And this is coming from someone who doesn't like the character very much of Superman. I don't hate Superman. I should really point that out. I do not hate Superman. There are versions of Superman I very much like. I like the animated series one. I like the Henry Cavill version. But you don't really do that. You don't do that to Superman. You don't do that to Wonder Woman. You don't do that to Batman. There's that's like really the big three you do not, as the someone basically affectionately put, you don't job those three characters. So either way. But she's a capable fighter in terms of like she has had hand to hand training, but she's because of her fighting style, she doesn't have to go. She doesn't have to actually like go into like a martial arts fight with someone usually because of her level of power. Obviously, she has flight. She has a freeze breath. She is overall extremely capable in a fight, and she is, I guess, the strongest of her universe. Mm. Either way, so her versus Naruto. See, the question I immediately have to ask myself is: does Naruto have the power to even hurt her, let alone put her down? And I have to go through like all of Naruto's abilities, the level of power he's demonstrated. And again, Team Naruto, keep in mind we're talking about Team Naruto. It is stated Kurama may have the ability to destroy the planet if he uses Kurama's full ability. So that's a planetary level. Because even throwing a nuke at her face, even if that barely hurt her, one nuke is not a planetary level threat in terms of destroying the planet. I don't even know if you were to blow up every nuke on the planet, it would actually legitimately blow up the planet. But allegedly, Kurama is capable of destroying a planet, or at the very minimum, raising all life off the planet. So I had to assume Kurama does have the power to at least injure her. Is there any other technique Naruto has at his disposal which could injure her or do anything? Well, he's got that ceiling Rasengan, thanks to Shikaku. That one might be able to pin her down and seal her, maybe, if it hit. The five elemental orbs, the chakra orbs. The problem is unless you're like the Sage Mode character individuals, you can't touch those. Otherwise, they will actually vaporize you. But it's difficult to explain how that works in the concept of Naruto versus like say DC. I imagine Kara would be someone who could touch those. So then that just leaves like just straight out blunt. Now I do think like with the rods he could actually pierce her skin. I think he could do that. I think those are durable enough to do that because it basically is alien. Like the Otsutskis are aliens. So I think he could injure her and in theory kill her or beat her down. In theory. Add on Kurama's power, add on chakra orbs, and add on just all the power he's getting from the Sage Mode. I do think Naruto has the capability of hurting her. I don't think he can do it easily. Like his base attacks, even with 6 Sage Mode, aren't going to do much than annoy her, maybe like knock the wind out of her. But his more powerful attacks, yes, I do think they are capable of at least damaging her. So now that begs the question, how does the actual fight go down? Well, because these characters really exist in very different universes, this would have to be a case of like dimension hopping. And luckily with the Crisis series, they've done that plenty of times. With all the Crisis Ons, their big joint stuff. The Arrowverse DC universe has done a lot of dimension hopping. So that's actually not that difficult to do. So SuperGirl would wind up in Naruto's universe. Let's say it's near the end of the war, before, right after Kaguya is put down, and SuperGirl comes in and stops Sasuke from like sealing the tail beast, just kind of blasts her with a heat vision, and kind of just boom, knocks him out. Now, in theory, look, let's be very clear, these two would not actually fight in a real circle. They'd probably get along. Hell, I can see a very real scenario where you could ship these two. They're roughly, well, no, she's in her 20s, he'd be in his teens. You could ship the older versions of them, but yeah. No, I mean, I guess there's a way you could have like a younger version of her, maybe like a 17 or 18-year-old version of her, and, ship them. Yeah, go! A whole era of fan fiction awaits! Actually, I'm sure there's already fan fiction. What am I talking about? It's the internet, man. But the problem for even just discussing how the fight would start is the catalyst for the fight. Now, you could make an argument maybe she's like hyped up on a kryptonite thing. It could be that. Something has warped her personality, because that has happened before. Red Kryptonite did that. I know there was another scenarios where her mind got messed with. So that is actually a possibility. So maybe you can get that going on. Anyway, long story short, something occurs where they have to fight. And the fight would go down, and Naruto isn't dumb, believe it, despite how he kind of acts. I mean, he's a little, He's simple, he's a little brash, but he's not stupid. He would be able to tell that something's up with it, like how powerful it is. So he would probably automatically go into Sage, Fox mode, whatever. And their fight would clash. Now, is Naruto faster than her? In terms of travel speed, no, I don't think he's faster than her. In terms of reaction speed, because reaction speed is actually faster than traveling speed, because that's like immediate reflexes, whereas like I'm trying to run, I can do it, but like that's way faster than I can just run in an instant. Like, reflexes. Reflexes are far faster. Whether or not she's got the reflexes to match, we have not really seen per se, but I'd be willing to bet she could probably keep up. But he does have an advantage in terms of, I think he's just had more experience actually fighting hand to hand and, just more training. So in the actual hand to hand fight, even though she's dishing out harder blows, and she's got a harder defense, he is able to avoid most, if not all, these hits and deliver them back at her. So, and deliver it back at her. Now, unfortunately, most of his hits, while they do kind of annoy her, she is not troubled by them. So she launches heat beams. He dodges them just like he did with Madara's light fang technique, light speed based attack. And to be fair, her heat beams are not light speed, almost certainly. So Naruto can dodge that more easily. He pulls out the chakra rods, and he's firing the orbs, and she's blocking the orbs. But they actually do hit her. They're dense, they're powerful. There's energy in them. So she comes in, rushes, just grabs him grabs him, is about to just throw him into the ground. Naruto then just stabs the chakra rods right into her, just launches them, and she's like, and he now just pushes back against them, flattening the ends, because these things can be melded and warped into whatever. So he stabs and flattens the ends and pushes her back, and uses the other chakra orbs as aids to push her back. Then he basically fires a huge Rasengan at her. She goes flying back. She's able to rip them out. Comes in again at Naruto. Naruto prepares, basically is like, I can't, realizes, Kurama, I need your help. Turns into a giant fox, whacks her with the tail. She's basically guarding tail as he's preparing like a super powerful tail beast bomb. And basically she just gets out of tails, comes directly at him. They fire point blank, and it's just a big explosion in the face. Naruto's on the ground. He's hurting because even friendly by Kurama, he's not going to be able to fend off all the damage, especially of his own attack. But she's also on the ground. She's struggling to get up a little bit, but she is getting up. And Naruto's like, oh crap, I don't know if I have anything left. There is something, Naruto. And it's like, what? I can't really do a good Shikaku, but it's like try this out. And then he's got the seal. He's got the magnet release for Rasengan. And then she comes in, just boom, grabs it, and it's like, this is over. And he can feel, he's got his chakra up to protect him, but it's only doing so much. It's like she's breaking his neck. She's like, boom, and he hits her with it. And unlike with the other Rasengan, it's not that she's hurt. She can feel like her body's locking up. She's not being able to move. And what's it? Magnet. I want to actually type in magnet release for Rasengan. Magnet. How do they work? Magnet. That's what I want. Magnet. Oh, are we really doing this right now? Oh, we are doing this. This is irritating. Yeah, some of there's a strip of keys on my laptop that off and on are not working, and I kind of basically, to get them to work, magnet, there we go. To get them working, I have to press them simultaneously for a while. Release Rasengan. My spelling is atrocious today. There we go. Release Rasengan. Because the way the magnet release, Sage Art magnet release Rasengan, the way the technique works, technique is available by combining the Rasengan with Shikaku's magnet release. He reinforces the suction power, creates the Rasengan with the Beast Curse Seal markings, and then smashes here into an opponent in the same manner as a normal Rasengan. Upon being struck with the technique, the markings quickly spread across the user's body, immobilizing them. Now, the question is thoroughly, this didn't work on Madara because, for reasons, I can't remember why it didn't work on Madara, to be fair. Would this be able to work on Kara? Would it be able to work on her? There's two answers to that. One is because she, even though all living creatures have chakras, she doesn't know how to utilize it very well, and she's been exhausting a lot of energy. So one answer is yes. The other answer is she is still a Kryptonian. She is still feeding off solar energy. So no, she'd just break out of it. I think the answer lies in the middle. I think for a time it would work, but eventually she would just recharge and eventually have the strength to break out of it. So ultimately, though, I think for the initial fight, and no, I didn't even use shadow clones in this fight. Naruto could easily have, can easily delay her, stall her with shadow clones. I think for the at least initial fight, Naruto would win. And the reason for that is he isn't as physically powerful or durable as her, but he is still durable and physically strong enough to A, dish out some hits, and B, take hits. Add on the fact that he's fast enough definitely to keep up with her, at least on some level. But what really separates them is the fact that Naruto has a lot more versatility. Just using the clones alone, we've seen just how versatile Naruto can be. He also has the substitution jutsu. He's got the chakra orbs, which he can turn into chakra rods. He has the extra percentage, so he's always got battlefield awareness over Kara. Even though her senses are enhanced, he literally can sense the entire battlefield. Then you factor in all the Rasengan, the summoning jutsu, Kurama's Fox mode, every version of the Rasengan he has. Wind release. He's got more answers, I think, for her than Kara does for him. That being said, Kara's main answer could just be to knock him out cold or just hit him dead on with like Heat Blast. But ultimately, I think Naruto would actually win the initial confrontation. It's just that I don't think he'd be able to kill her. That is ultimately where the problem comes for Naruto. That if this were a death battle, I think Kara would just outlast him at that point. Because Naruto, unlike Kara, Naruto does have, even though a massive amount, a finite still amount of chakra that he can pull from. He's not, even though with the Sage mode he can offset that to a degree, Kara is constantly absorbing solar radiation no matter what. So I think I would go Naruto with this fight for the initial fight without killing Kara. If we're talking about a fight to the death, then I would go Kara. So Naruto for the initial, hey, let's chill out, let's talk about this fight, just to stop someone from fighting. Kara for the I'm going to kill you fight. But that is just my opinion. Ultimately, what do you think? Put in the comments below. Let me know. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below, and we'll do it at some point. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks next time. Have a good one.